The truth occurs.
Hi everyone, I'm just going to cut to the chase and I'm going to tell you that GMOs have no place on this planet. And a lot of people are fighting to get rid of GMOs. Vermont recently passed a GMO labeling bill where you have to label the GMOs that are in the food. I was all happy when I heard about this until I found out later that they're now being sued for doing this by 4 different groups who point out that the federal government has the sole authority over regulating nationwide distribution and labeling practices that facilitate interstate commerce, and the Constitution prohibits Vermont from doing so. Apparently this is the only area that really is in the domain of the federal government, is anything to do with regulating interstate commerce. So I guess this is the way they're going to find around Vermont being allowed to do that. Well, we'll see how this turns out. There's been some progress in Oregon. Jackson County, Oregon has just passed a bill to ban GMOs from being grown within the county. Well, that's good. However, with the GMOs, it's like a case of 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. Daily Informer reports genetically modified super banana to be tested on Americans. Oh my God, not the bananas. What's wrong with these people? Man, when you eat GMOs, you don't know what you're getting. It could be a sterilant. It could be who knows what. Meanwhile, while they're foisting their GMO products on you, the FDA wants to save us from the scourge of wood-aged artisanal cheese. It says here, as part of a new push to enforce certain aspects of the Food Safety Modernization Act, passed in 2011, the agency announced that it will no longer allow cheesemakers to use wooden boards in the aging process. Because, well, there could be bacteria on there. Oh, you know, I just thought of something. Cheese is full of bacteria. Well, why stop at the boards? Just ban bacteria from cheese making altogether. Many years back here in Montreal, there's this restaurant called Gibby's. It's like a steakhouse, and they were serving steaks on wooden boards. And the food inspectors, safety people, whatever, came along and decided to ban this practice, so they would have to serve them on plastic. However, what they probably didn't take into account is that wood has some antibacterial properties, whereas plastic will just harbor the bacteria. So what have they really accomplished? Oh, and that reminds me of something else. Just a few years ago, there was a listeria outbreak at a maple leaf plant in Ontario, and a whole bunch of people got sick. I think even some seniors died. And the response from the Quebec government was to crack down on artisanal cheesemakers. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Artisanal. Anyway, I'm from Quebec, you understand? Actually, no, that's a French accent. Anyway, they made a whole bunch of small independent cheese producers throw out, I don't know, how do you measure cheese? Gallons or cubic centimeters? Anyway, they made them throw out a whole lot of cheese for nothing. None of it was ever found to be contaminated. It was just because of a huge corporate packing plant in Ontario had listeria outbreak equals throw out cottage industry cheese. Cottage cheese industry. Cheese. Tabarnak. Don't mess with our cheese. So like I said, 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. Well, let me know what you think. And thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.